And hello, everybody. Welcome to the next iteration of the Zelda 1 Randomizer Pentaforce Tournament. We have today a first round bracket match between Sir Panulphe and Sir JamEvil. I am one of your hosts, Alsoa, alongside Norestra today.
Good afternoon.
So first things first, because we have a shuffled start screen, where are you hoping they start?
Oh, I'm always a fan of starting somewhere, forest or where there's multiple pathways to get out.
You know, I've come to like the forest as a start, and also the desert. Looks like we should have a start in just a second here. Survey says Monaco Rock.
Not a bad starting spot. It's got a couple options, a couple paths you can get around. Quick, easy access to 3 Armos spots.
Speaking of those Armos spots, that Armos item is generally considered very high priority in this flag set.
I would completely agree. It gets one of your potential key items out of the way, especially with the now importance of that recorder.
Oh yes, because folks, we have a second quest overworld now. Which, the main difference, as Norestra alluded to, is that instead of only 1 recorder spot, there are now 10. Let's see. The other main thing is that the money is actually going to be much less, as there will only be 1 large secret, and there's also 1 extra door repair.
Yeah, so money is usually tight. You know, we'll see our runners less likely to buy blue rings, more likely to buy hints.
Yeah, except for that 30 mid secret. That's vanilla.
That's unfortunate.
But there's a raft. I believe we have a little bit of buffering of some sort on Pan's side going on. There's a level. We think? Hold on just a second real quick, folks. There we go. Sorry about that, I froze briefly. What level is this that Jam is in? Based on the start, it's probably 4 or 8. Those are my first 2 guesses. Maybe 7. It's a little early yet to tell. There's a triangle. Jam not going to take it. Pan is in the same level. He has not gone and gotten his secret on the coast yet. And Pan is going to opt to dip out of the level for now. Probably looking for a weapon of some sort. Instead takes a Lionel sword to the face. Not the most fun.
Jamie is going to pick up his Triforce, so we'll at least be able to possibly figure out what dungeon this was.
Eventually. There's a candle shop, which the candle's not a bad price this seed. So we're going to see both runners go into the open caves trying to find that wood sword as early as possible so they can do stuff.
Yeah, right now that, or find, the, in Jam's case, the 17 rupees needed to buy that candle.
Small secret's gonna be 16. Calling it right now.
It's not horrible. It's not nice, but
Hello, magic shield that has a clock on it. Which, that's not a terrible price for it, but still not a great price. Pan now knows that his bundle of sticks requires a bundle of wood. Wait, reverse that.
yeah. You must walk over the water to float over the water.
Or the small secret's 3. Okay.
Well, that's just rude.
So, folks, because we only need 5 Triforces to get into level 9, the runners are probably going to want to shy away from the big levels. With the exception of maybe 8, because 8 has 2 items. But there is also... the important items can be in level 9, so these are things like your... What are they called? Your bows,
everything you
your
see down there in the bottom right there. The bow, the silvers, the ladder, recorder, power bracelet. We know the raft's not in there. But we could need that raft to get the silvers, and that ladder could be hiding in 9.
Believe Jam is in 7.
Yeah, it looked very nope-ish. And 7 is one of those dungeons where our runners are not going to want to do this. It's, large, it's unpleasant, and it's only 1 item.
As opposed to this dungeon over here, which, based on the start, could be 2, could be 5. More likely 5. Well, actually, no. I don't know what that dark room. I do like that we have 3 levels early, though, before a sword.
Yeah, it's nice. You're definitely going to want to find your levels. We've seen races, especially in the Swiss, where finding the levels was more important than finding the Swisses. We do find a compass here that'll help us tell what room we have. Oh, and it's combat blocked. That's nice.
But I believe that's level 2. So
it does look very 2-ish in its shape. So that'll be a quick clear for the Triforce, and then we'll be clearing everything for the item.
We get a quick sneak peek at the big win on Pan's side. That is a 72 rupee win if you get the big money on that.
But take a look at what Jam just found in the vanilla first quest potion shop. That's a sword.
Yeah, but if it's made of wood, are we sure it's not just a billy club?
It kills the enemies. We'll take it.
Yeah, let's go with that. There's an arrow shop.
Oh, and look at what the Armos item is. That is a red candle.
That is absolutely wonderful for Jam, as now he, for one, doesn't have to worry about finding a candle later. For 2, he can take all of the hearts or a potion out of the bonus cave with absolutely no hesitation.
And at the same time, Pan is going to go ahead and pick up his first candle out of the takening.
And there is a third benefit to that red candle. Because we have second quest enemies, as you saw the Stalfos shoot swords, there are now red and blue bubbles. The red bubbles permanently take your sword away, the blue bubbles restore it. So if you get boxed by a red bubble, that red candle can give you an extra offensive option.
Yeah, it's definitely nice. And even just in basic combat, to have that repeatable weapon. Yes, you have your sword, but it's a medium-range weapon here. So you can kind of defend yourself a little better.
And I don't know if it's just confirmation bias, but I've seen with this flag set in particular, and really with the whole Pentaforce tournament, ladder blocks seem to be more common and especially more trolly than ever.
Oh, they're definitely more troublesome, and part of that's because you're only having to get the 5 Triforces, so your runners aren't necessarily digging every dungeon to find the item. So they're first 5 in usually. is going to be their Triforces. So I think that has something to do with it, where in previous tournaments where we had to collect all 8, our runners would dig a dungeon like 7 that they wouldn't really necessarily want to find that ladder.
I think compounding to that is the fact that ladder can now be a 9.
Oh, that's always just pleasant.
And there have been instances, I can't recall any offhand in this tournament, but there are definitely instances in at least races that people have run where you may have to go into level 9, getting only certain Triforces because the ladder's in there, then leave level 9 to go get an item that was ladder blocked that you need for level 9, such as the silvers.
Or the bow. We've seen that.
And as much as I enjoy Trolley Seeds, that is one thing I don't wish on anybody, is a forced double dip of 9.
I mean, the only thing that would be better would be a triple dip of 9.
Why stop at a triple? Go quadra. Wait.
I don't think that works, but sure.
Oh, it totally works. Key blocks.
Oh, well, yeah. I mean, that's also something we've discovered in this flag set, that resource management is extremely important, as keys, bombs, rupees become very tight, and managing those can make or break your race.
However, there is one upside to important items in 9. It does actually slightly increase the chance you'll find the red ring out in the overworld, which, if you're looking for a defensive upgrade, you may not necessarily ever need to buy a blue ring, as you could just find a red ring somewhere.
Did you see the price of those bombs?
Yeah, that wasn't very pleasant.
No, that's not what you want to see.
Especially in second quest. But I'm curious if Jim is going to go back into the level that's up here in the northeast now that he has some weaponry to work with.
I would definitely put some thought into it. I know he's not necessarily going to go over back into what we believe is 2 to grab that Triforce, just because we can get it pretty easily.
Jam missed the bomb spot. Unfortunate. Never lucky. Oh, hold on. We just saw his pause menu. It looks like that level in the northeast is 1.
Oh. Well, that might definitely be a good dive, because that's going to have 2 items in there for him.
Yes. Although I don't quite remember what the enemy set was. He may be holding off to try to get a little bit more equipment or some bombs before he goes in there. There's one thing you want to have going into a dungeon. It's bombs.
Yeah, it's definitely, especially if you're finding 1, 2, and 3. Those are usually, you get some bombs. But even in the, all variations of the randomizer, 1, 2, and 3 will have bomb walls in any rooms that are adjacent, unless there's an old man or the side staircase there. And Pan is taking a look at the hints. Not necessarily cheap, but yeah, that might come into play here.
It looks like that hint shop was kind of close-ish to start, so save retry strats for that one may not be too bad.
I think the other one was fairly close too.
At least the meat's decently priced. You know, I could see Jam not wanting to go back to 1 just because he's already been there. He's already got the Triforce out of it. If he doesn't need to re-dig it, at least not initially.
Yeah. I mean, it's a good play. Plus, odds are we are going to find the recorder, unless it is in 1, which would be unfortunate. So he'll be able to recorder back up there and quickly access it.
And we're seeing that because of the red candle, the lack of sword on Pan's side really isn't hurting him that much, because he can still fight his way through the overworld, he can still check all the spots. And in dungeons outside of Darkness... Oh, go ahead.
I'm just trying to figure out how he missed the sword, because it was right... It was that vanilla potion shop there, so...
I think he died on the way in.
Oh, but the red candle's 3 screens up, so he just didn't go back down?
Could have been that. He might also have died on the way to where the wood sword was and just hasn't gone back there yet.
Okay. Jam has made his way into another level.
Hi, Uncle Wizzy.
Yeah, bombs work on Uncle Wizzy. That's a good thing. This looks like 8.
No, I think this one's 7.
No, that's not right. No, it's not. Yeah, I think you're right.
Taking 7 is always a very interesting choice for the reasons that were spoken about earlier.
It's 7. That's... Need we say more, right?
Well, the bow's probably in here because it is 7. Seven seems to be the reverse of a lot of... 7 seems to be the reverse dungeon a lot of times, where... Again, this could be total confirmation bias, but it seems like if the item is early in 7, it's good. If you have to full clear 7 for the item, it's like the magic boomerang.
Yeah, it's always fun. Jam has decided he's had enough of 7, so...
As Pan's gonna go into 7.
I thought that sword he's not going to be able to do much with Uncle Wizzy here.
Well, we have found a new level on Jam's side, so we'll see what that is.
Purple.
It's not the mob level, so I approve already. Wait, is that the mob level? This looks like 6. Yeah, I think this is 6.
Well, if it is, that's a very unfortunate river room. But we do have a staircase here, so...
Be able to continue onward for the time being.
And it does take us up past that river room, so we should be able to do most of 6 unless there's some other block in here.
Cough, Goma, cough. Let's see, he finds another river room and some more Gibdos. Might be able to get some bombs off of these guys. It doesn't look like they rolled too high. Get a compass. Jam now knows where the item known as the Triforce is, as Pan finds level 2. So Jam's gonna head toward...
Oh,
go ahead.
So Pan's making good use of that candle in 2 here, getting the map and just taking care of everything with the burn stick.
Wait, I thought that was the wand with the book. It was the burn stick.
Oh, that's just a nightmare.
Hey, the book is at least useful.
So we do have what appears to be super ropes.
Well, they are second quest ropes, so they're naturally at 4 HP to begin with.
Oh, and that is a recorder in 2.
Ooh, that is Good news for Mr. Pan.
Unfortunately for Jam, he dove that without weapon at the time, so was unable to get that.
So the real question is, as Jam picks up the Triforce in 6, he knows where the Triforce in 2 is. Do you think he'll dig 2 for the item when he gets back there?
I do. 2's small and relatively... The enemy set in here is relatively nice. No real reason not to. It's on the floor. You don't really have to look for it that hard. And if I'm looking at it correctly, I think it's on the way to the Triforce even.
It might be depending on the path you take there. Pan has the advantage on hearts, 5-4.
And regardless, our runners will most likely not be getting a ton of hearts, so they'll be wanting to take a potion here in their next take-innies, likely after they, or at least after they get the 6 hearts to get that secured white sword item.
Of course, it might also depend on what items they have, and most importantly, if they have the letter by that point.
Oh, definitely. Pan should be getting his... No, he's not going in that cave yet. Now he is.
That is some nasty bunnies in level 6. Jam might be hoping for a bow. I think based on Jam's map, he's actually ladder blocked out of a little bit of 6, but we'll have to look at it again, because I believe there was a river room blocking his way to the right. That's somewhere in this dungeon.
So Pan with his sword now is in level 6-2. This is an annoying room to fight this bunny in.
Especially when all you've got is a sword and not even a sub-weapon that can hurt the bunnies. And it looks like Pan got wall mastered. Never the best fate.
No, that's always annoying, at least. Especially if you're anywhere in the dungeon. Got a little bit of a river room.
Gets a 5 out of it. These Wallmasters seem to be quite beefy.
We don't go chase that fairy, Jam.
Never chase the fairy.
It's a trap, usually.
And even when it's not a trap, it's still a trap.
So yeah, that looks starting to look a lot like a ladder block. And Jam's gonna up A and say, "I've had enough."
That could be a potential issue later on.
Now it's just a matter of figuring out where we're going to get our 5 Triforces.
Yes, because at the current moment, they still need to find 9, and at least 1 more dungeon. in order to have the minimum number of dungeons found to get into 9, although they might not be able to get all the Triforces due to the items that could be in 9.
Well, there's another dungeon.
And the west of Hyrule's stacked today.
Ooh, have some dark nuts.
If I offer them burnt almonds, do you think they'll go away?
Maybe. You might just agitate them.
Well, then I'll let you deal with it. Not quite sure what level this is that Jam's in right now. It could very well be a 3, though.
Yeah, it's looking 3-ish.
The interesting thing is, for folks out there who might not be very familiar with the dungeon shapes, usually what you can do is once you get in the first couple of rooms, even if you have just a map of what the vanilla dungeons look like, you can kind of get a sense of what the dungeon's going to be. And then eventually, as you get used to it, you just start to know within the first, 2 rooms what dungeon you're in.
Yeah, you can start to narrow it down. You enter from the left side, you immediately knock off 4, knock off half your dungeons.
Enter from the top, and you're not on the very top row, you knock off another half. Hi, Patrick.
Yeah, this is not a fun block clip here.
Going for the candle clip.
I do believe he hit a red bubble, so he may not have his sword right now.
And you know, what else?
Got the Triforce out of 6.
We'll see if he redigs for the item.
So we are tied up in Triforces.
You know, oh, that's an item.
That is an item, and that also unlocks our raft. So that's really 2 items.
3 items. It unlocks our item in 6 too.
That is true. So we'll see if Jam decides to go back into 6 since he doesn't have much left of that to clear.
Jam could decide to go back to 2, redig 7, and then just go to 9 if he really wants to. But he's still got to find 9, so he'll probably help. Oh, go ahead.
Yeah, 6 is right there, though, and he's only got, 2 or 3 rooms left?
I think closer to 5. Because he's got that whole north right side of 6.
Oh, and he gets a toll room. He's going to pay the money.
Oh, I see we have a toll from the northeast. I think that's another part of the money management is the toll rooms. Sometimes they're life for money, sometimes they're bombs or keys, sometimes it's max life or max bombs, in which case you just up A out of it and pray you don't have to go through it.
Yeah, that's the worst one.
But that really does play into the resource management aspect that you've got to be cognizant of, okay, I could be going through this dungeon, I might need up to 75 rupees at any point, or lose a heart or something.
Right, but I mean, in this case, Jam is looking at, he's got 5 keys, 6 bombs, so he's probably not going to need to buy keys or bombs right this moment. And he's at 5 hearts, so if he does stumble on the white sword item, he does want to have the better chance of getting it. So I would, the money is definitely the better play here.
Not to mention that with no ring, losing that heart makes a big difference.
It puts you in a single Ganon driver.
That is actually interesting to note or think about, is that if you don't have a ring, the best position to be in is to have an odd number of hearts. Because that'll afford you 1 extra hit against pretty much anything. Whereas if you have an even number, you lose out on an extra hit.
Again, it's all about that resource management here in this tournament.
Nope. No stair for you there, Jam. You gotta go another way. Pan is about to find out the news that he is ladder blocked.
And we still haven't seen that large secret, but we're only going to have one, so it's not going to be that helpful.
What I'm curious to see is, because Pan's already here in the Deadwoods, is he going to go ahead and just clear out that southwest corner? Well, actually, he has more reason to. He has a recorder. He could check all of the spots there.
That is true.
So I see no reason why he won't find 3 and find his ladder in 3. What do you think that large secret's going to be?
Well, let's see. We've got a vanilla medium secret. We've got a tiny small secret. So, here we go. Max 150.
Well, I appreciate the optimism. There's a level under a recorder spot. I'm going to say about 115.
It's still above max. Or not max, but average.
And it helps to offset that tiny small secret. This looks like a 5. Jam is back in 1.
Not a bad call here. We'll figure out what the 2 items are. We've got one on the floor, one in the staircase. So that could turn out that bow and silvers, they're still on the table.
I'm still a fan of the 9 items in 1, which is silver's red ring.
That would be, that would be nice too. I don't think Jam would complain about that.
Yeah, that's not a combo you want to pass up. But it looks like the blue dark nuts are quite weak.
They do. Oh no, any key looks to be in 1.
Ooh.
That looks to be the 4 item because Jam now has unlimited keys.
That is not a bad item to pick up. I believe you only
definitely not.
I mean, the seed has not been key starved to begin with, but it's just one less resource you have to balance.
Yeah, that's always nice to not have to worry about that. And this is our potential stair room here.
Nope. Not today. Maybe tomorrow.
And Pan is in 5. We can confirm that with the map.
Could have an item here.
Just the red lamb molar. Oh, and there's the bow.
Oh, that is good news for Pan. That's actually extremely good news for Pan.
Oh, it definitely is.
So we now have a situation where Jim may decide to dig 2 for the item, get the recorder, and then go to 9 thinking bow's a 9, and it's not.
And my take on the bow in these flag sets is you would rather find the bow outside of 9, because if you stumble into the book, you'll at least get the hint potentially that silvers are or not in 9. You will not get the hint in 9 that the bow is somewhere.
Well, speaking of 9, that's not the level Jam's found, but he has found a level under a power bracelet spot. Ooh, alright. New Dream Seed. Silvers are in this dungeon, so both of them have the item the other needs.
And books buried somewhere in 7?
Nah, dude, book's buried behind Ganon in 9.
Oh, that would be nice too.
Well, here's the stair. And it sounds like from chat this is going to be level 8, and I'd have to agree given that it's the only dungeon we haven't seen with the transport stair yet. Level 8 is a nice find because it's going to have 2 items.
Yeah, unfortunately, this with what we have left, it might have 2 boomerangs.
I'd be okay with that. Vanilla 9 items are still a possibility.
Oh, they are.
Looks like the only dungeon we have not found yet is 4, the wild card.
Yeah, so the big thing here for Jam is how quickly does he make his way back into 2? That will kind of determine how this plays out at this point. And yeah, as our tracker CyberChowX is pointing out, we also have not seen 9, so that could be anywhere.
Well, we have a recorder block, we have a power bracer block, raft block for the trifecta?
Sure, I'm game.
And it is easy access, there's no reason for either runner not to grab it if they haven't found 9 yet, which neither of them has. Good old Adong bro. Oh, hi, Compass.
Oh, that's not nice.
Well, hold on. It just means that Pan's gonna have to come back there because the ladder is right here. So that's not the worst time to find that.
True.
Though I don't think Pan's seen level 1 yet. Or
No,
if he has, he might have just... Okay.
I'm pretty sure he hasn't seen it.
Or maybe if he did while he was doing the northeast, he just saw a dungeon, dipped in, said, okay, and then left. Speaking of leaving. Jam is not going to be leaving 8 anytime soon. He wants his goodies.
Oh, definitely. At this point, you're still missing, in Jam's case, you're missing the bow and the silver arrows. You want to get both items out of here.
And given the plethora of good items that are left, red ring, white sword, wand, book,
Yeah,
there's a pretty high chance.
Yeah, you're getting something good out of here, most likely.
Yeah. And if you're not, then, well, we just blame Fred. Or TGE. Or both.
I thought we'd blame Fury and TG since that's their favorite items.
Yeah, let's go with that. I like that.
But we do have a... No, we've been in this room.
We've not been through this bomb wall, though, to find a hint. This egg certainly seems to be wanting to turn the runners around.
It's also looking very linear.
Well, linear dungeons are good, right? You're going to run across the item on the way?
Yeah,
Not
except
always.
you're going to run into every block in the world.
Especially when the Triforce is on the one deviation from the linear path.
Yeah.
And it looks like based on the fact that we currently have no large secret and the players really haven't held on to a whole lot of money on hand, I don't think we're going to see a bomb upgrade out of either player, which could mean that in 9 they might have to consider bomb management a little bit more closely.
Oh yeah, I would agree with that. We're not going to see... We may not even see hints at this point. Book would be almost useless with this amount of money.
Well, the 2 major uses of the book would be in 9, regardless of money, and the potential white sword item hint.
Oh, yeah, that is true. But still, at this point, and that's our bait block.
Interesting. Oh, High ladder block again.
Yeah, we got the ladder. Not a big problem for Jam.
Nah.
Though,
That is, though.
yeah, that's a bit more of a problem, but he's able to bomb around it for now.
And he finds Wand.
I'm not going to complain about that, especially not having the book right now.
Yeah, and given it's more powerful than his white sword, and it also does not care about red bubbles, I imagine he's actually pretty happy to see that. Ooh, you gotta go through the dig dogger, though.
Yeah, it's looking like that. So Pan is picking up his ladder now, as he has returned to us.
You know, I think given what we've seen, I'm gonna say that even though Jim, at the moment, looks like he'll have more Triforces, although not by much, because Pan can now get the Triforces out of 3 and 5 real quick. I would say Pan has the lead at the moment through the recorder.
I would agree with that, and the fact that the recorder blocks that bow.
And may block the second item in level 8.
Wow, that is true.
Actually, it is blocking the second item unless it's a staircase Triforce room. Oh, it is a staircase Triforce room, but it's still technically a logical recorder block, and it's the heart. A lucky, unlucky break for Jam.
Oh yeah, I mean at this point, the extra heart, no one's gonna complain about. You know, grab your Triforce and get out of here. But Pan has found a bunch of hearts while he was away.
I'm gonna guess, and we'll need to look at his pause screen to be certain. He might have gotten the Triforces out of 3 and 5 right after he got the ladder. I'll have to get a pause screen from him to see what he has. Arrows are kind of expensive.
Yeah, let's hope we don't have any Goma blocks blocking our silvers. That would be unfortunate.
Never lucky. There's our large secret. Well, look at that.
91. Ouch.
You can go buy the arrows with the large secret and nothing else. Jan's pointing out that Pan, we haven't seen Pan go back into 5 since he got the ladder, so he doesn't have that Triforce. But, on the other hand, he does have the recorder, and it's just 2 screens away from 3, so he might be saying, I'll just get that right before I go into 9.
Yeah. Well, we're going to assume that he picked the Triforce up out of 3, though, because he did have the ladder and immediately leave.
Yeah. Now, he doesn't have the power bracelet, and that might actually be good for him if he finds 4 up here. Sure, he won't get the any key, but if it's a decent keyed 9, it won't really be a factor. James checking the ladder block spots on the overworld. These are second quest unique, although I say that in meaning that you have to have mixed quest or second quest on. They can't show up in mixed, and it's terrible when they do. I was about to ask why Jam wouldn't be in dungeons, but then I looked at his bomb count, and I got my answer.
Yeah, but he gets another lucky bomb drop.
Mm-hmm. And he could also be deciding to look for 9 first, and once he's found 9, just start knocking out Triforces after that point.
Yeah, I mean, at this point, I think he's found all but what, 2 of the dungeons, because we haven't seen 4, and he hasn't seen 5.
3 dungeons, 4, 5, and 9, and
oh
my! Pan's in go mode, sort of. He's in Schrodinger's go mode.
Well, he's in Find 9 mode.
Hence Schrodinger's. Oh, hi, Max. Fancy seeing you up on Death Mountain, as far away from everything as humanly possible. Which, actually, depending on where 9 is...
If 9's power burst blocked, that would be the only thing that helps Jam out right now.
Yeah. Elsewise, it is starting to look... Things are starting to line up pretty nicely for Pan. Especially if 9 is not on Death Mountain. And Jam's only got 1 bomb, so he's not going to be able to explore much of this outright. Unless he gets a bomb drop here.
He's making great use of that wand here.
So I think if you're Pan at this point...
Oh,
there's 9.
And it's in an open cave.
Oh boy.
So Pan is in go mode at this point.
He just needs, what, 2 more Triforces?
Yeah, 2 more. So the Triforce out of 1 and I believe 5 are dungeons he's seen that are open to him.
I don't know if he's seen 1, because if he's seen 1, I imagine he'd just go right back in it.
True. Yeah, so, but he can get the Triforce out of 1 and 8, so there's nothing blocking him at this point. He just has to find them.
I mean, 7 is also technically on the table. Not the option you want to take, but it is on the table. But again, looking at his bomb count, he might be trying to get some bombs before he goes to a dungeon. Plus, Pan technically hasn't seen 9 yet. I don't know if he'll look for 1 or if he'll just dig 7.
You know, in this case, that's not a bad decision either way. Yes, 1 has your resource help, but at this point, it's get your Triforce and get out.
And he already knows where 7 is.
Yeah, exactly.
Although he is out of money. Having not found that large secret yet. He may never find it.
Yeah, you need 2 more Pan.
Sorry, Pan. Denied.
9 is not open yet. Jam is back in... Was this 6? No, this was...
I see what Pan's doing. He is taking the time to get some bombs on the respawning moblins.
Bomb farm, nice. So Jam has decided 7 is his play.
Fortunate, it's highly likely he's going to find a boomerang in here.
Yeah, it's starting to look that way. Either that or both boomerangs are hanging out in 9.
Well, there's a red ring.
I'm not going to turn that down.
That is actually good for Pan if he decides to go to 7 instead of just look for 1 or 8. Because he'll likely come across that.
Yeah, that was very quick in there.
I do think he's spending a little bit long farming. I think after this bomb drop, I just leave. Yeah, and that's what he's doing. Though it looks like he wants to finish Death Mountain out.
I mean, not know it because he doesn't know where 4 and he doesn't know where 1 is. Not necessarily the worst call here.
Nor does he know where 8 is.
Not true. So he's got 3 on the board that he needs to find. And that may be a sign that he doesn't want any part of 7.
But on the other hand, well, I mean, yeah, if you find, I think as soon as he finds that first dungeon besides 7, he's probably just gonna stop looking for dungeons at that point and just get his triangles.
I'd agree with that.
Now, he will be missing the red ring for 9 if he does that.
But I mean, with what? 9 hearts, neither one of these runners really need the red ring. It's always a nice to have, but
yeah.
Yeah, some of us need the red ring just to face a Wizrobe.
And there is also, if Ganon is in a particularly tough room to fight, the red ring may help just make the fight smoother, but realistically that it's not as big of a deal as it would seem.
Definitely. You know, you get him in an SU room or a Chevy room, it becomes a little bit more complicated to fight.
But they both have the ladder. That's important.
Well, that is.
For those of you that were not around during, I believe it was the Random Percent tournament?
It was last year's tournament, the fall tournament where we had Ganon in a moat room with the Triforce.
Yep, and one of the runners left the room and found a bug that the Triforce doesn't respawn, which has since been removed. Now bomb upgrade.
Oh, but no, Jamie is going to get it. It's 4 bombs, not bad.
You know, I really can't think of a reason why you wouldn't get the bomb upgrade if it's right there. Especially given you still have 9 ahead of you.
Yeah, it's probably a good purchase here. Jam doesn't know it yet, but his silver, nothing he needs is arrow blocked, so.
Well, if you think about it, the chances of an arrow block are, from what he's seen so far, relatively low.
Oh, definitely.
Compared to the chances of needing to find all of the bomb walls in 9. As far as he knows, that's the more likely thing to happen.
And we have seen some convoluted 9s in this tournament.
Yes, just because you need 5 Triforces to enter, 9 has not changed. If anything, Ganon's reinforced it. I would hope that Pan goes up and checks this Arma statue before he goes back, because it is kind of on the way. There's a Triforce in 7.
7.
And that was deep. Oh, Pan's about to check this. Nope, just a potion shop. Alright, so 9 wasn't raft blocked, maybe 4?
If I remember correctly, this was 2, right?
Yep.
So hopefully Jam will go find his item in here, and this will lead him on the right path.
I am really hopeful that Pan does check that one Armo spot, or that he hasn't mismarked it, because that also could be.
Yeah, that would be unfortunate. We've had a lot of tracking errors in the tournament. It happens. You mismark, you misclick, you think you're on first quest, you're on second quest.
But here's 4 in a recorder spot.
So 2 dungeons, recorder blocked today.
Which actually means that, hey, there's
a quick Triforce.
I agree with checking the one room. It's right here. It doesn't really cost that much time, and he gets a key out of it. I wouldn't fight the Gleeok, though. I would just get the key and leave.
I agree with that, especially with the information he's got. There's no reason to.
Yeah. And the interesting thing is, he's fighting the Gleeok. Either he's hard set on the red ring, or maybe he's looking for bombs still, because he's had no bombs almost all season.
I think the Gleeok blocked him.
There is also that. It is standing on top of the thing.
No, he looks like he's fighting it.
He might be thinking he can't grab it with the Gleeok there, too. And Jam is digging for the item in 2, as expected.
Oh, this is a good decision here.
The question is, will he go and use it immediately, or will he just go straight to 9 anyway?
Right now, he's missing 2 of the 3 key items. I would assume that he's going to look a little bit harder, because you don't want to risk both items being a 9.
Okay, it looks like Pan was just trying to get close enough to fight off the Gleeok. This is where he's going to pick up this raft, and hopefully he just books it back to 5.
Well, 1 is up here, so if he runs into that, he might run into 8 first, because it's there, but 1 would definitely give him an advantage.
Looks like Jam is going to go check the recorder spots. I do think if he gets the bow, he'll go straight to 9, though.
Yeah, unfortunately, that would be the right play in logic. He's not finding the white sword item will hurt him.
Yep. And
good news is it is up there on Death Mountain, but it's a little bit out of the way from 9.
I'm still not quite sure where Pan's headed. I mean, he could just be looking for a bomb shot, too, because, again...
he's out of bombs.
Yeah, and that might be influencing his decision-making heavily right now.
Yeah, he's pretty frustrated that Mabla didn't drop him a bomb.
And I don't know... I think we've seen a bomb shop up at Vanilla 1.
I think that's right. It was kind of out of the way. I think there was one on the coast, maybe.
But it looks like just based on the enemies he's killing, he is trying to get some sort of bombs before he goes back to whatever dungeon to get his Triforce. Hopefully 5. Although he is getting money now. That's a good sign.
I mean, getting money's nice, but not being able to spend it on anything.
Oh, come on. He can spend it on silver arrows.
And speaking of arrows, Jam just now has his bow. And he is in his case, Schrodinger's go mode. He is going to most likely dive 9 without the silvers.
Yeah, I would be surprised if he decides to dig the rest of Death Mountain right now versus just going to 9.
In Jam's case, he's going to be hoping to stumble into the book to be told that the silvers lie elsewhere.
So what dungeons have we not seen the items out of?
We have not seen the item of 4 and 6 and 9.
I kind of want the book to be in 4.
Yeah, because right now we're missing the book, both boomerangs, and the white sword. We found everything else.
I don't think he'd complain if white sword's in 9.
White sword book, and he's picking up the potion, though. Good call here, because the randomizer does like to slap a bunch of red bubbles right before Ganon. And Pan has finally given up on his bomb hunt, and he is back in 5.
I think he'll probably kill enemies on the way up to 9, hoping to get bombs, but I think he'll go in. There's a part of me that says he'll go into 9 with 0 bombs if absolutely necessary. He would just vastly prefer not to.
Oh yeah, I think anyone would prefer not to go into 9, not carrying bombs at this point. You'd like to have 4 at a minimum.
Although, we could have early bomb droppers in 9, which would be very helpful.
Well, we're going to find out very quickly as Jam is headed directly to 9. Now, in this case, Jam is not going to be looking for our normal things. He's going to be looking for what he thinks are the silver arrows. They're not. Now, that is important here to look at, though. There are bomb-dropping enemies right outside of 9.
Absolutely. I would actually expect Pan to do a little bit of bomb farming unless he can go into 9 with 8 bombs, because they're right there, and he does have silver, so he can one-shot him.
So Jam's going to be looking for Ganon. He's going to be looking for the 2 items, and he's going to be looking for Zelda just so he can have it mapped if he does have to dip out and come back. And Ganon, we won't hear it, but you will. I assume audio's on Jam's side. You will hear the sound of Ganon roaring. Lots of bomb walls, not much insulation.
What we don't know is if we will hear the meet. Jam's famous meet whenever he finds Ganon. Or now famous. Hi, not Zelda.
And the other really important thing in 9 is that bubble management. You know, realizing, do I have a sword? Do I not have a sword? Do I need to tag a bubble?
The answer is you always need to tag a bubble.
And Jam going ahead and using his first drink of the potion. As Pan picks up his Triforce out of 5, and we'll be heading to 9 in go mode.
And I think getting that 1 bomb drop in 5 really helped him out, as he'll have to do a lot less bomb farming. There's a warp that leads right there.
Now the other thing is going to be for Pan, will keys come into play here?
Based on what I've seen on Jam's side, it looks like the key doors really haven't led anywhere yet. Not saying they don't, but...
Right, but having 5 keys versus the any key might make routing decisions for you.
But on the other hand, 5 keys isn't necessarily a low amount going into 9.
No, it's not. But still, if you're very concerned, especially with the keys being at, like, I believe it was 108.
Yeah.
You know, diving out to buy a key is not necessarily going to be an option for Pan.
But we have seen before where routing away from key doors can lead you on the right path too.
Oh, definitely.
So...
Now, the other important note here is I do not believe Pan has a potion. So if he finds the red bubble right before Ganon, that could spell trouble.
It definitely could. And we haven't seen the letter cave either, which is kind of surprising. The other thing that may change his routing is if he sees a very tough combat room without the red ring, he might opt to go around it if he can.
We've already seen a couple of Wizard rooms, so that might be a thing here.
Well, at least Pan has options. We can look forward to that.
And now, for those of you joining us right now, the silvers are up in the northwest as we find the book here in 9. Jam does not have the silvers. He has not found the white sword spot yet.
This is a good item for him to pick up, assuming the old men are, 1, reasonable to get to. And look at the HP on those wish ropes.
Nothing.
They have no HP.
So, yeah, there's two pieces to the hint puzzle here in 9. One, do we have any old men? We've seen the bait block and we've seen one toll room. So, and Pan trying to do a bit of a clip here to avoid the red bubble. A nice clip in the Chevy room.
I didn't even know you could do that.
I did not either. That was quite impressive.
Oh, and look at the red Gorillas. The bomb droppers in 9 are extremely generous on the HP pool.
That's always nice. Yeah, so Jam's hoping that we don't have 2 toll rooms and the Zol or Zelda guards the compass hint. That would be very unfortunate for him at this point.
He's leaving already.
Oh, he's found one item, so he's now... Let's see, where is he going to go?
He could very well have also found... If we did hear Ganon on his side, he might have seen some indication of where Zelda is, and as a result has opted out.
That is possible. Now, I am looking here at the options, so he has not gotten the item. You know, we don't know what the item of 4, 6, and we know the... So right now, he has the white sword and 2 items on the overworld in dungeons to deal with versus the 1 second item in 9. So he may be playing odds here.
Now what'll be interesting is if he decides to dig the dungeons, knowing that the items are in there, Vice find the white sword cave, especially because he is about to find 4. If he sees that it's 50-50 white sword or 9, does he go back? We're hearing that there is a Zelda find on Pan's side, which is probably what prompted Jam to leave 9. If he was in this room, I didn't quite see. Hi, map. Hi, 8 blue wish robes.
Yeah, Jam is going to go ahead and take out that Gleeok, and we'll see what here's in here in 4, most likely.
So now it's just a matter of Pan finding Ganon versus when Jam finds the silvers. Which it looks like Pan is going for the clear as many rooms with 9 as you can option in terms of the columns, just to see if you can hear Ganon more easily.
That's definitely. There's several variations on routes for 9. Some runners do a diagonal route where they try to get as many rooms as they can. As Pan finds the book here, go ahead and pick that up. Could get the valuable information of what quadrant or what guards the compass, which he knows where Zelda is, but...
I think the Ganon hint is the main thing he's looking for at this point.
So I do think that Jam did see Zelda's room, based on where Pan is now.
I wonder if Ganon can appear in that room that's from 7. This one right here.
That would be horrible, but I don't think so. I don't think Ganon can be in a room with blocks on it.
Okay. That would make sense.
Yeah, it would be a... You think fighting Ganon in a Chevy room's bad, do it with a couple blocks on the floor.
Hey, just fight Ganon in a grid room, no big deal. Or the turnstile room from Second Quest. I don't know if Pan's heard Ganon yet, but he has quite a bit of 9 covered as far as audio goes. Jam getting the hint for 4 while in 4.
That's always fun.
Quality hintage. Quality.
I mean, the only better hint is getting the book after needing the book to get the hint.
Aquamantis awaits with the book. The room after you get the book.
No. Yeah, that's awesome, too. So now the question starts to become, is Ganon locked behind a staircase that you have to do something silly to get to, like come in from the north. Oh, and there's the yellow boomerang in 4.
Strike 1 on Jam's board.
Oh, that leaves white sword and blue boomerang left for us to find.
And if that's the case, we know where all the items are.
Well, we know where...
Sort of.
Yeah, we just have to resolve which one's in which dungeon, but yes.
Wait, that's right. We know where all the items in the suit are. We just don't know what locations.
They're all in dungeons, except for 3.
Yes, there is no item in 3. It was replaced by Zelda 2. Jam looks like he's now searching for the White Sword Cave. I don't know if he's going to go back to 6. We'll see which way he goes across the overworld. If he takes the southern route, he's probably thinking about dipping to 6 again.
Oh, there's the hint.
Is this the
hint?
No.
Nope. It's one thing if you watched the Shapes tournament last year or any of the Shapes Battle Royales, Ganon's room will be the only dark room in 9 in Shapes. But since Vanilla First Quest has dark rooms in 9, we're going to have dark rooms here.
Although I'm not quite sure this dark room is living up to its purpose.
Not really. But it was blocking Ganon.
Ganon? Oh, look at this room.
It's not a great room to find him in. Not the worst, but... Ugh.
And Jam just got the hint for the silver arrows on Death Mountain.
Well, that definitely puts this race back, at least even. Jam will need to rush to get to Ganon now, as Pan's looking at his map going, ugh. That is quite the path to Ganon.
But Jam's going to the wrong side of Death Mountain. This is giving Pan a little bit more time. But the blue wizard denying Pan entry.
Yeah, so now the question is, does that red ring pay off here for Jam, as Pan has to do this on 3 hearts and no potion?
And no letter, which... who knows where that is?
Yeah, that's buried somewhere.
That's in Link to the Past, clearly. Looks like he's...
Jam's getting closer.
Looks like Pan's going for the alternate route to Ganon.
The question is, does Jam have the route? And he's got that potion out. He gets off of it. Hate to see him use that before getting in 9.
Oh, yeah. Jam is 2 screens away from the silvers. But I believe there has to be a stair that takes you over towards Ganon's area a lot quicker than walking all the way through 9 back.
I would assume so, but you may have to work for it. Oh, and 10 hearts, not enough for Magic Sword, so we will not be seeing that tonight.
Womp womp.
But what we'll be picking up here is our silver arrows. So now Jam is in go mode as well.
So now the question is, can Pan get back to Ganon before Jam comes coming in like a swarm of bees? Assuming Jam doesn't keep getting buffeted by his own fire.
Fire is bad, Jam. Yes, Jam does have the red ring at this point. So that is really the major difference between our 2 runners here. And Jam has a potion refill.
Although I like that Pan opted to at least attempt to clear this room out somewhat, but unfortunately took a red bubble bot before the clock.
Clock got him.
When the clock is the enemy.
That's unfortunate. and not having a Triforce in 9 to pick up or a potion here, really you have to kind of work to get that back. Okay, so we'll pull off his ladder clip again. As Jam now enters 9. So all advantages that Pan had are now slowly dripping away.
Remember, Jam does have the red ring advantage.
And that potion, which would be huge if you have to deal with bubbles.
However, Pan is absolutely not out of this yet.
Oh, definitely.
He does have a couple room advantage, and he does have a path to Ganon. And it looks like he might be... And he's probably going to try to find a shortcut there. Plus, these blue gorillas should give him a little quick health boost. Hopefully. Or maybe not, if they don't want to drop anything. That's fine. They don't have to cooperate.
So the other thing is Jam has not seen the path to Ganon, but he is kind of on the right track here.
They're both going about the same way. Both of them have wood swords, so there is no sword advantage on one side or the other.
Yeah, but that red ring could be huge, as Pan is only going to be able to take one Hyrule driver, where Jam will be able to take 4 as of right now.
However, if both of them can get a stun lock, this could come down to seconds. And I don't doubt either runner's ability to get a stun lock with wood sword, at least for a good portion of it. A timely clock there for Pan. And no, I don't think Jam has heard or seen Ganon's room yet.
Yeah, he was very close to it, though, when he was in here the first time, it looks like.
But I don't know if he knows Ganon's over here. Pan trying to work his way around the red bubbles.
He'll get if I remember correctly, the hint is on the path.
Depending on which way you go, it is, yes.
Right. But he is in the right column here, so if he can just find a way straight down.
Oh no! The Wizrobes get Pan!
Oh. And Pan is going to try to get some health back here, because 3 hearts is just not going to do it without a ring. And instead, here's some bombs.
And the one time he doesn't need bombs, he's getting all the bomb drops. And there's the hint. Nope, that's the silver hint. Can't go that way.
But there is a path to Zelda potentially over here by Ganon. We can find the way around it.
Well, that's convenient.
I think this is it. He's got to go down from here. Yeah, the beast is 2 rooms. Yeah, you have to walk by that hint to get to Ganon. He's going to hear Ganon right now, and he's going to go face the pig.
Pan does get a fairy. And here we go. He's taken 1 Hyrule driver and got 1 hit. There's 2. 3, 4. Having a little difficulty getting the stun lock in. And Ganon just not cooperating for Jam.
As Pan is having trouble in that room, and Jam gets the kill. Just a couple of rooms up here. Zelda's right nearby.
It looks like the red wing was the deciding factor.
Definitely.
After all of that. Kind of interesting.
Just gonna make it past these unruly blue wizrobes.
They're no fun.
It's only fun if they have no HP and the door opens. So, I'm gonna walk in with the official SRL time of 1 hour, 19 minutes, and 39 seconds. JamEvil is going to be your winner here today. And his statement in the SRL room is, rips his hair out.
And as HN said in chat, the moral of the story, take 7 every time.
The moral of the story is 7's still horrible. If you're on Pan's side when we break the news to him.
Oh, jeez.
We have JamEvil in chat. We'll see if we can get him here in the Discord as well.
So that was, I think that was actually a good mix of just trolling enough to keep it interesting all the way to the end, but straightforward enough that it's not everyone's looking for the one cave that doesn't exist.
Yeah, there's definitely a very,
J'ai presque plus de flèches, donc faut pas que je déconne.
Qu'est-ce
que je fais là, moi? Je me suis perdu, putain. Qu'est-ce que je fais là?
There's a new voice that's helping Floridians everywhere beat the heat. Become
close.
Pan once again navigating the blue wizard room. Looks like, is he looking for the second item? Oh, we now know where the white sword is.
Yes, we do. We know where everything is now.
Would you care to give us an item rundown? Now we're 21 in after one of the races is finished.
Yeah, sure, why not? A little odd, but sure. So, keys to this seed were the recorder being in 2, ladder being in 3, any key and red ring, or any key and power bracelet being in 1. And then bow hiding under a recorder spot in 5. But the thing that sealed the deal was red ring in 7 and wand in 8, giving Jam the combat advantage and the defensive advantage to get through this seed. And if you care to know where the rest of the items are, your yellow banana was in 4, white sword in 6, heart container was the second item in 8, and book and blue boomerang were in 9.
What a layout. But hey, at least the red wizards have nice HP, so that's a consolation prize, right?
Sure.
Yeah. If only the blue wizards had 1 HP.
The blue wizards are only fun if they just don't exist.
What? Come on, you're not saying trying to clip into a... What, you're saying trying to clip into a blue wizard room on 1-hit KO is not the most fun thing in the world?
I still have nightmares of trying to clip into a diamond staircase in one of the Swiss flags with blue wizards.
Well, then we were in agreement.
But Pan is just a couple rooms here away from Ganon, so should be getting in a refight here pretty quick. There's 2 rooms down, 3 hearts, 1 Hyrule driver will put an end to this battle.
And chat also pointing out a potion also would have helped out Pan significantly.
Yeah, 1. Okay, he's got 4 hearts now. He's trying to get another fairy out of this, but he's only got 2 rupees, so he's got to be. He cannot use any arrows here.
Yeah, he can use 1-ish. 1.5. Wait, how do you use half an arrow?
He's getting some good fairy drops, so he's going to go into Ganon's being able to take right now two. So he'll only be able to take 2 high roll drivers, but still, that's better than he's had coming in here earlier.
We need somebody to load the seat up and tell us where the letter is. I'm going to guess it was that spot on the river that nobody checked.
Ooh, down to 2 hearts. He's going to have to be extremely careful.
Dodging these fireballs is a little more difficult than it looks.
Oh, and he takes the fireball to the
Ooh.
face.
Making his way back.
One consolation here is now, as long as the bubbles don't spawn on that right side, he doesn't have to deal with this room anymore.
But if he leaves 9 for any reason, whether it be to get potions, get a heal, he'll have to re-clear this room. So I think he's going to look to go as much as he can without having to leave 9.
Well, good news is he does have some friendly health droppers. Might even try to build up a count here to get his fairy.
Well, at least he's been able to keep his rupees above 1, so there's that. And that's part of the problem when you have silvers, but you don't have a lot of money, is you can't really use them as liberally as you'd like.
Yeah, definitely. It's just another part of that resource management with the single large secret here. Definitely makes every decision much more crucial.
He gets a 5er and 2 fairies.
That's a nice setup, right on the path. So
Good old 16 count. He's just got to avoid the bubbles.
you already got hit by him. No point in dodging him anymore.
Are there blue bubbles on the path?
I believe so.
Okay.
I believe there's one room of just blue bubbles. But you don't have a sword now, Pan, so be careful.
Yeah, you can't. Just because you lost your sword doesn't mean you have the right to go and just face tank every enemy in the game. Hi, Patrick. Bye, Patrick. Actually, he does have the right. It just hurts.
Yeah, you can do it. The question is, should you? And surprisingly, with the route to Zelda and the route to Ganon mapped out, he's not using his bombs to fight those Wizrobes and try to get some progress there.
He's taking a lot. If you're looking for a way to get past the red Wizrobes without as much difficulty, one thing you can do is wait even just so much as like half a second to let them spawn in before you start moving. It'll give you enough time to get out of the way of any Wizrobe beams, but you won't have to worry about getting bopped.
And there's our blue bubble room, so...
He is back on the path.
With the sword now, so...
Sword? As long as he doesn't lose it again.
No, he had to push the block to get to Ganon, that's right.
And then dodge these guys out, which...
Or not.
Oh.
Ouch.
This is a tough situation to be in, because you don't want to go grind money to get a potion. You don't want to go dig another dungeon to get the red ring. You don't want to leave 9 because you don't want to clear that room again. It's just...
Well, in this case for Pan, he's got to dig a couple dungeons because he hasn't seen 1. So there's 2 items there. He hasn't seen the item in 4, 6, or 7.
And he hasn't seen 8 yet.
Or 8, yeah. So he's got, it's not like, oh, yep, I know red rings in 7, let me go get it. It's, I don't know where anything is.
Which of my 8 item slots is it going to be?
Yeah, I mean, if anything, he'd go dig 1 and 8 first, which would help, but at the same time...
The keys would be irrelevant at this point.
Yeah.
And 1, while useful, it wouldn't help
kill the wizards.
Yeah. Although it'll help in this room, so there is that.
And we know that 10 hearts won't get you magical sword.
Which is a little unfortunate, as a magical sword really would help Pan, and that, I mean, it would have helped both players, but I think in Pan's case, without the red ring, it would have been a huge upgrade.
So more than anything, if you were to leave and go look for the red ring, finding 8, getting the heart container there, and finding 1, getting the heart container there, would give him 3 more hearts because the second item was a heart container in 8. That would put him in the magical sword, which would get him a much easier end of this seed.
Plus, he'd also have the wand, so getting back to Ganon would be a tiny bit easier.
Yeah, I mean, this room with the push block and the red bubbles is still just absolutely evil.
These are the kind of seeds where you start to think pause strats are definitely helpful. A lot of runners don't run them because having select swap just to swap between items is really quick and easy. But there are a couple of runners that do use the select button as its original pause feature. And for cases like this, where you need to get through a red bubble room, those are some of the cases where it's most helpful.
The red bubble rooms, a couple other instances, but land molas come to mind.
8 blue wardrobes.
No, you just don't. You just run from those rooms.
So you're saying the best strat is to just don't.
Yeah, if 8 blue reserves are guarding your bow, you just forfeit and call it a day.
Is that the new meta?
He keeps getting bopped by these red bubbles here. Might be time to look for a different route that doesn't involve that staircase as well.
We saw there was 10 or some odd staircases over in that left corner. He's gonna attempt the red bubbles again. Gets the block. Booyah! He's in.
Yeah, that's so far out of all the dungeons and everything we've seen, that has to be the worst room. It's like, here, let's just stick some bubbles in here where you have to push this block.
And I like what Pan did there. He waited until the wizards moved out of the way instead of just trying to get through ASAP.
Yeah, sometimes just a little bit of patience will reward you a lot more than trying to just rush it.
Except this room. Usually the wizards there spawn such that you can get from over to the right side without issue.
Yeah, just run through that one.
Yeah. It all depends on where the enemies spawn.
And I would imagine Pan is going to clear this room out fully. Just trying to get that last bit of 3 hearts.
A fair drop right now would go a long way.
Yeah, be careful and fight these guys on the half tile, then I get bonked by their boomerang.
So,
ended up net nothing.
But he gave it an honest effort.
So Ganon 3.
You know, I wonder what the stage fatality in this room would be. Oh, apparently a Hyrule driver. He is not giving up on this Ganon. He wants him dead. Was it just me or were there less red bubbles in there than before?
Maybe.
They're moving.
I didn't realize Fred had turned on randomized enemy spawns.
Still waiting for the option where we can turn the enemies in dungeons into just a pool and they can move into whatever rooms they want at will, as long as there's no more than 8 in a room. As evil and impossible to program as that sounds.
How about no?
There's a lot of evil ideas we can come up with. Pan is looking for that alternate route now. At least somewhat. I think at this point, yeah, he's got the money to use the silvers. I think this is a better idea. He gets a heart for his efforts.
Yeah, at this point, you know, you just need one, but you need one.
Right, but if he's got 24, I think he can afford to spend a 2 or 3 or 6. Or 10. Enter the red bubble room again. Beautiful pattern.
Yeah, this has truly been the final boss room.
Vote red bubble is the next raid boss. Ooh, gets his heart back. That's kind of nice.
Yeah, just, I mean, still it's going to be 2 Hyrule drivers. Still is going to be kind of all you can take.
But he will have at least the wiggle room to take 2 instead of just the 1. Oh, wait, there's a fairy.
Oh, but he gets bopped by some boomerangs in the back.
Oof. Is that why they say never be surrounded?
Ah, but he gets the final one, gives him a fairy. There we go.
And because he's got that 9th heart, he can take 3 Hyrule drivers if he takes no fireballs.
I mean, really, he can only take 2, but that last one will be the end of him.
I mean, technically speaking, he did take the Hyrule driver, he just didn't survive. We never said anything about surviving
Fair.
the 3rd Hyrule driver.
Oh, and double Hyrule driver. Oh, that's not... Oh, and the fireball.
Oh. This is a tough room to fight him in some ways.
Definitely. Oh, it's also the, you know, you think about it, you've got to hit him 15, 16 times, plus you cannot take any hits, really. A very high pressure fight.
It's one of those you gotta get... It's one of those you kind of have to get lucky that you predict where he's going to land right after the hit, and then just get the stun lock on him and keep it.
Yeah, the bigger piece here is him not having that potion. That, you know, with Jam having the potion and the red ring, you can be a little bit more carefree about how you fight Ganon. Not much more, but a little bit.
You have wiggle room, as some folks like to call it.
Yeah, even a potion here would give him the ability to kind of take him on a little bit more in the middle and try to get that stun lock in a better location.
Well, I think the main thing for me that really changes when you have a room like that is oftentimes what is a common strategy on Ganon is you'll go towards that bottom row on the far left side and you'll just move up and down to avoid his fireballs. When you've got a river in the middle of that, it gets a little bit more dicey to do the avoiding, just because you don't have any lateral movement when you're on that second to bottom row.
Yeah, that's true. The other thing the potion would let Pan do is take that bubble room and just ignore it.
Once. Or twice.
Yeah.
Then he has to get another potion.
But still, you could get through that bubble room, get to Ganon, and then use the potion. Or farm your heart containers and get yourself possibly a full attack on him.
I like how Pan's decided he's no longer accepting the gel split. He's just going to use silvers or bombs as necessary.
Yeah, at this point, it's kind of like, I'm done. Let's just go.
And he already has found the way to Ganon. He's already found the way to Zelda. He doesn't need his bombs for anything but combat, so...
And the enemy set in here is very bomb dropping friendly, so you can replenish pretty quickly.
Yeah. Like I said, there's one nice thing about this route is you have to go through so many enemies. Yes, it sucks that there's a lot of chances to get hit, but there's also a lot of chances to just keep continually getting resources. Like that fairy.
I'll be right back.
Okay. Pan's about to go for round 5, I think this is? Maybe 6? I can't remember. It's another round versus Ganon, that's the important part. Oh, takes a bop. But gets the heart back. But takes another bop. Looks like he's going to go ahead and clear this room out so that you can get the respawns later. No, he's going to leave 2 of them. He's got full health going into the Ganon fight. Ganon once again spawning in that down lower corner. Let's see what Pan is able to make happen. There's one. There's... Oh, no! He was starting to get the stun lock, but the Ganon hitbox collided with his hitbox.
Oh, that's unfortunate.
Going for round 7, I think now. I don't actually know how many rounds he's been versus Ganon. Bypass these red bubbles. Sees the blue Gurias once again. Takes a bop. But he's going to try to kill them off to get some hearts, I think. He's not letting his rupee count go below 10, or go below... If it gets to single digits, it looks like he's switching over to bombs, which makes sense to me.
Hey, you don't want to just lose count and accidentally fire one.
Right. He's running low on bombs. He's going to keep at least one, though. Which I like this. It'll allow him to force bombs if he needs to. Back up to 15, so he does believe once again have silvers available. It's an option. Bubbles trolling him a little bit.
Yeah, Bubbles being very unkind right now.
It's like he's gonna get through.
Dodge a couple more blue robes and we'll get another round.
This time with passion! Or something.
And Trenton, our restreamer here, pointing out, you know, that Wizrobe staircase there might be a quicker way, but you have to come out in a room full of Wizrobes.
Let's see how much health he can get here. He might just clear this room out and then go ahead and go for the Ganon fight and re-clear it out again if he has to make another attempt. Although hopefully he will get it on this one. There we go!
Oh, and just that driver right off the bat.
Followed almost immediately by another one.
And he has decided to step out of 9. We'll see what this leads Pan off to.
He's gonna go back to start. Looks like, based on his direction, is he gonna go to 1? Looks like he is gonna go for 1. He's now looking for that red ring.
Yep, red ring, heart containers.
White sword. Pretty much anything to help him out.
Well, he will find stuff to help him out here, just not the help he needs. He'll be finding the power bracelet and any key in here. But also potentially another heart container, so that could help out as far as taking more hits on the way to Ganon.
The other thing it could help out with is if he gets enough heart containers and is able to pick up mags, that will make pretty much all of 9 just that much quicker. And he'll only need 4 hits on Ganon instead of the 16.
Oh, definitely. So he will need at least 2 more hearts to have a shot at mags. So if he gets the 1 out of 1 and goes and gets the 2 out of 8, that would put him potentially in range.
Assuming he doesn't go to 4 and get the heart container out of there either, which he could be up to 13 before we know it. And he knows where it is, it's just a bit out of the way, but at this point I don't know if he's even thinking about that. I think he's just thinking about what can I do to make Ganon happen.
How can we fry this pig up and go home?
I do have to commend his dedication to making this happen. He refuses to leave empty-handed.
Now, the one thing we will note is I don't know if he even knows. I don't see him in the SRL room. So he may not even know that this race is over. And a lot of our runners run with that down too. So he may still think he's in combat with Jam. And I think at the 2-hour mark, you might start figuring out that, okay, he's probably done. But we've seen some trolley seeds here.
course, there might also be that even if he figures the results are one way or the other, he might just be wanting to finish it just so that he finishes it.
Yeah, and then that's always the goal. Even if you lose one of these races, you want to finish it to come out at least feeling decent when you watch it back.
I'm gonna try to take out these landmos, which they're quite beefy.
If I remember correctly, did they have the item? I don't remember. They had something, I thought.
I thought the Any key was either down here or it was like up in the very tip top of the wing.
Yeah, it may have been up in the wing. We didn't see it. It just kind of happened for Jam.
Suddenly, he had a letter in his key slot, and we know that this game doesn't roll over to letters immediately at 10.
He's going to kill the Lamola and leave the room, killing the other one instantly, which is definitely the right thing to do with these beefy things.
Nothing! Unfortunate.
You get nothing and like it.
Nothing, guard the nothing.
Definitely hope you like fighting Landmola, because here's some more.
Good old Landmolars. Oh, here's the Dark Knight.
At least they're not beefy blue Landmolas.
Well, at that point, you just nope on out of the room.
Hey, you're just like, I hope there's nothing I need in here, because that's not happening today.
Like, if it's a beefy blue anything, you pretty much just nope on out of it. Especially in dungeons. Even the beefy blue keys that have 4 HP that are just terrible.
Oh, that's the worst. It's not even. You're like, oh, this should die. I went, nope. Okay, this is bad.
Actually, you know what? I think the jails are worse to have more HP just because they have that really wonky knockback.
Oh, definitely. Yeah, any of the enemies where you expect to cut through them in one hit and then they don't are usually ones that'll kill a lot of runners because you're just like, oh, I should be able to. Oh, no, I'm not able to kill you. This is bad. As Ban does find his croissant.
Suddenly, he blames the croissant on why he couldn't do it before. And
well. Close to the right croissant for that issue. We have a ring that would help out a lot, but that's going to be a level 7.
So if you go to the jewelry store and buy a ring that has a ruby set in it, does that mean that you can take 4 bullets instead of 1?
I guess it depends on where they shoot you.
Well, I'm just going to hold my ring up and just move my hand really quickly and hope that I make it.
That quick. He did get the heart container out of here, so he's gotten everything out of one that he needs.
So let's see what he does. Will he go to the dungeons he knows, or will he check the power bracelet spots?
Now, the power bracelet spot, one screen to the right of him, will give him the wand and the heart container, but we'll see if he goes there.
Looks to me like he's going straight back for 4. Which also makes sense. He knows where it is, so it's not something he's got to look for.
Well, he'll finish off his breakfast with a banana, but that will not be what he's looking for.
Wait, people eat bananas for breakfast?
I mean, you don't?
No, actually, I don't. But that's not saying much. I don't eat bananas in general anyway.
The pandas decide to go into 4, though. So he will be, like we said, finding... I believe he'll be looking for the heart container in here as well. I don't... yeah, he didn't kill this Gleeok at all. He just got the Triforce and left.
That Gleeok might prove to be a tough nut to crack, although there is a warp nearby and another one that's over by a fairy fountain. Plus, he has the recorder.
When Jam came in here, he just beat the Gleeok over the head with the wand and called it a day.
I mean, that is an effective combat strategy. Yeah, what's this? A magical rod? I can use it as a melee weapon? Okay, I'll do that.
And Pan trying to use the recorder on the screen. You have to get off the screen first. And just grab some hearts and go back in. Okay. That's an idea.
I'm a little surprised he's farming this over just whistling to 6 and getting the fairy heal.
Yeah, it would be my choice here.
Although he might be doing that now. No, he's still going for the enemies. Wait, no. He's going to the other fairy fountain, okay.
And our tracker again, CCX, pointing out Pan did clear out most of 6. We were ladder blocked at the time when both of our runners were in there, and that does have the white sword. That may be all he needs.
That is very well possible.
So,
but he's going to go to 4 first.
Yep.
Has he gotten the large secret yet?
No, I don't think he did see the large secret. I think Jam was the one who found that.
There is a non-zero probability that if he's able to find the letter somewhere, he could just buy a potion. He will have the money for that.
Yeah, but he's gonna have to find the letter, and we have no idea where that actually is. So he's gonna go back into 4.
Suddenly letters in 4. What? Pan's now, with his newfound health, just going to go for the face tank to Gleeok and beat it over the head with a sword. Works quite well. And he's just looking for a staircase room. I'm pretty sure if a room doesn't have a staircase, he's just going to skip it. Because I don't know how much he's going to value the heart container here versus just the item. Because if he's looking for the red ring, 10 hearts with red ring should be enough. He will find his item here with the much better mold orbs compared to the land molas.
Yeah, but when your reward's the yellow boomerang at 2 hours in, are you really... Is it better?
Well, it is better because now he knows he can go somewhere else instead of, oh, let me just go fight these blue land molas a bunch and then find a boomerang. It's low effort, low reward, as opposed to high effort, low reward.
Alright, so let's see where Pan's off to now.
He's taking an any road.
So he's over near, what, 7. Got the item out of 2, so 7 and 6 are kind of over here. Either one would give him what he probably needs to finish the job.
I think if he goes into 6 and just gets the white sword... Oh, he's going to 7. It looks... Yeah, he's gonna opt to do 7. Interesting.
Well, that would definitely be enough to take care of the Ganon problem.
Oh, absolutely. But he's also explored very little of 7. He might be concerned about that.
That's why I'm kind of surprised he didn't go to 6 first, which he had most of explored. And our restreamer pointing out here that you know, he still doesn't know where 8 is. Just found 1, so he still has this marked as a question mark. So he doesn't quite know this is 7 yet, possibly.
And given the start location and the way it started out, there is it's not too totally impossible to guesstimate that this is 7 or 8. Although at this point he might realize now it's 7.
At this point, you know it's 7. Though he hasn't seen 4 either. I don't. No, he just finished 4. That's right.
Yeah. Was this the item room?
I don't remember. It's been a while since we've been in 7. I think it was relatively close to the start, though.
Well, he does get the block clip. There's an item. There's his red ring.
And yeah, he's done with 7. I can't blame him. Though, I don't remember how deep that Triforce was deep in 7.
It was, I believe, in the top corner.
Yeah, so not gonna go pick that up for the health refill.
Can't really blame him on that either.
So with that though, I would imagine we'll get a fairy fountain and then take the warp road up to 9, and we'll go back for Ganon here pretty quick.
Yeah, and with that red ring, his hearts have now gone up to 40, effectively.
Yeah, it should be more than enough to take care of Ganon at this point.
And I like the up and A there.
Definitely. And using the information that while your health is refilling, even if you take damage, it will continue refilling. So just tanking enemies on his way to the warps.
Oh yeah, why not?
Hey, it's free health.
Ah, just face tank. Best plan.
I mean, in theory, if you can make it all the way to Ganon with that refilling, then you can fight Ganon forever.
That's like trying to get through a town in Zelda 2 while the magic's still refilling. You're kind of not gonna do that.
No.
Unless 9 is right at start. Well, I mean, there is definitely situations where it is possible to do. Just, it's so few and far between, you shouldn't bank on it.
But hey, it gets you a couple extra screens with full health. Always worth it. So we'll be back in 9 here in just a moment.
So where do you think level 10 is? That's the real question.
No, we're not. No level 10s.
Oh, level 10s, okay.
If Fred adds a level 10, I'm done. I have enough trouble with just the 7 or 8 that I have to do normally.
And the red ring already being put to good use.
Yeah, definitely the red ring in here is just going to make getting through these rooms so much easier. Will not help you with the red bubbles, though.
You would need, I think it's the Whispering from later Zelda games for that. Fortunately not here.
Just a potion here would help you with the red bubbles, but, you know. Unfortunately, we have not seen that letter still.
Yes. I don't think we're going to know where it is at this point unless someone wants to go fire the seed up.
Yeah, I'm good. With the effective 40 hearts here, Pan's going to most likely make pretty decent work. He's going to try to fill his health up all the way on these blue gorillas.
It's interesting to note, now the heart refills, instead of filling 1 heart, they effectively fill 4. So you get even more value out of these heart drops. Looks like he's opting not to use bombs to tackle this room, just sorting the enemies down.
Yeah, I mean, at this point, I don't think he's planning on coming back through this room.
I would hope not. He gets a 5-er.
And he's not counting on, you know, he's got 2 hearts. He's not really counting on needing any more resources to go kill Ganon.
So, as long as he is careful about not running out of silvers.
Or taking too many hits from these blue wizards.
Yes, as Trenton is pointing out in chat, we need to give a shout out to the whole crew here. We have Nora, who jumped in at the last second to help out on comms. We have Trenton GL, our restreamer, and we have our tracker CCX, who has been doing a wonderful job keeping up with all of the shenanigans and tomfoolery that the seed has been.
Oh, definitely. And, you know, thanks also for hopping in here and doing this already scheduled so that we get all of these races on the air.
And most importantly, shout out to the runners for putting on such a good show for us.
Definitely. Give them both a follow as well. Yeah. And, you know, we hadn't mentioned much about the tournament yet, but Jam will be moving on in the brackets, and Pan will still have another race at least. This is a double elimination, so he will go on to the loser's bracket. So he still has a shot at winning this thing. It will be much more difficult as here's Ganon again.
But you can see just how much of a difference that red ring is making. It looks like he's having a little bit of difficulty getting the position right for the stun lock.
Yeah, I know. I've seen a lot of talk in the Discord about Ganon coming in these different types of rooms and just not being on his normal pattern. So that can always be a challenge for our runners to pick up.
This Ganon seemed to have a relatively good amount of HP to him.
Oh, it looks like, oh, yeah, I got out. But very close. He's only got 2 more drivers that he can take.
Well, again, he can take 3, but if he wants to survive, he can take...
Oh,
no!
Double drivered.
Man.
Ganon is just not having it today.
His patterns are all off. He's doing things he normally doesn't do. It's just... oof. Who gave him the bowl of nails for breakfast?
So while Pan makes his way back to Ganon, we'll kind of run down the schedule here for the rest of the night and what we have posted so far. So following this race, our next race is at 9 p.m. Oh, no, sorry. Our next race is going on right now. Vicnan versus Panulphe. They are on Speed Gaming 6. That may or may not be continuing as we speak. And then tonight, we have Adirondack Rick versus Fury SK at 9 p.m. Eastern, channel to be determined. And then closing the night out, we have Shaddy versus Truant Gamer, and that will be at 11:30 p.m. Eastern time. If you want more Zelda 1 Randomizer, you can tune in Sunday. We don't have a channel yet, but we've got Saber versus Dragon Darch at 8 p.m. And then Monday, it's Captain Green versus Amazing Toaster at 10 p.m. And then closing out the rest of the bracket so far, Jay Coper and J-Lo are on the 25th at what is essentially midnight. So that will be midnight the 26th, 11:59 on the 25th. And then finally, the last match we have scheduled at this moment is Your Majesty versus Zebgedni on the 27th at 10 p.m. Eastern. All of those are pending channels and restreams.
And let me say this, we have an absolutely stellar lineup of all those races that Neracer just mentioned, as well as all of the races that are going to come out of that after that. Just this whole tournament is a stellar lineup. Let's just go with that.
Definitely. This has been an outstanding tournament. The Swiss had so much drama. The brackets are proving to have just as much. And then finally, the last thing is join the Zelda 1 Discord. We've got the Battle Royale tournaments going on. They are little mini tournaments. They're getting into their Tournament of Champions for the 2018 season, along with the 2019 season starting. So there's always something going on if you're a fan of the Zelda 1 Randomizer.
And a quick note on those Battle Royales. All of them have different flag sets. So if you find a flag set you like, go ahead and join it. If not, and you want to make a flag set, just go ahead and put it in. People may join it. It's open for pretty much everyone.
Yeah, you can create a flag set and start a tournament. So here we are. Pan's got Ganon down in the bottom corner, and we're going to try to get him out of here.
I don't know what the deal with his pattern is, but I think it's like a half tile lower. Yes, as Jam is mentioning in chat, Tournament Herbert Jerkin is one of those. And as OPT Lawyer mentions in chat, all these tournaments also have specific start times. So if the time slot also works for you when you like the flag set, that would be another factor to take into consideration. Looks like he's getting a stun lock.
Close. He can't take any more hits, really. And he's just got to get a couple more on Ganon. Oh, that is unfortunate. So at this time, we're going to kind of wrap up here and host Pan and let him finish this out.